What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in. So Conor Benn says Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia will be his plan B if the Adrien Broner fight falls through. Now, either Danny Garcia or Mikey Garcia are the better fight. Absolutely the better fight. Now, Adrien Broner, at one point in time in his career, there was a very small window in his career at 135 pounds where I thought, man, this guy is one of the better lightweights I have ever seen. Or at least the one of the best lightweights I've seen in some time. He certainly passed the eye test. Very, very talented. And I think it goes unrecognized in a lot of ways and forgotten. His performance against Antonio DeMarco was spectacular. And at the time, don't forget, Antonio DeMarco was ranked number 1 in the world at lightweight, right? He was considered the best lightweight in the world at the time. I believe it was in 2012. And this was an Adrien Broner that was hungry, determined, focused, really worked hard, truly lived the lifestyle of a boxer, right? He was dedicated. He was a dedicated athlete. He no longer is a dedicated athlete. And again, like I said, it was a very small window in his career. And as soon as he made the money, as soon as he started making money, and as soon as he lost to Maidana, which I believe he bit off way more than he could chew jumping up weight classes, that was really the end of Broner. And the reason for that, I mean, I don't need to explain this. Anyone who's ever paid attention to Adrien Broner could tell you this. He has a lot of issues, specifically mentally. He has a lot of mental issues. He has personality disorders. I mean, he's just a problematic, troubled human being. And that's the reason for it. He did have incredible potential. I still believe that. As much as I don't like the guy, I'm going to keep it real. I mean, Broner at one time was a force and had a lot of, beaming potential. But he just never lived up to it. So, it's irrelevant. But for that reason, the reason why I'm saying this is for that reason, he is still a name. He is still a name. And he is an accomplished fighter to a degree. I mean, he does have some, good, he's an accomplished fighter nonetheless. His career didn't transpire the way it was supposed to, the way a lot of us thought it would, but he is still an accomplished fighter with a name. So in that regard, it would be a good fight for Conor Benn, but I think at this point in Adrien Broner's career, he's had layoff after layoff. He's no longer dedicated to the sport. He clearly just wants money. I mean, he turned down $40 million, a $40 million Showtime deal. He clearly just wants big money, and that's what he's in this for. He's not in it for greatness. He's not in it for accomplishment. He's in it for the money. However, he will fight anybody. Broner has never been a guy really to turn down a fight because he didn't want to fight a particular fighter. It's all about the money. So if Eddie Hearn offers Broner a good enough deal, I'm sure he'll take it. But from the standpoint, from a pure boxing standpoint, Danny Garcia is the much better fight. Mikey Garcia is the much better fight. Mikey Garcia now coming off a loss as well, still the better fighter than Broner. He's still more active. He would still certainly give Conor Benn much more of a challenge, even though I don't like Mikey at 147. I think Conor Benn is much too big for him. I think it would probably be a bad move on Mikey's part because Mikey, even though he's the more experienced guy, I do not like him in that fight, and mainly it's due to the size. Conor Benn is a big kid, very strong. We saw it with that right hand. He's coming off that great performance against Chris Algieri, very powerful guy. I think Danny Garcia would probably be the best fight. Not only on paper, but it's also, I think it would be the best fight the way it would transpire in the ring. Very competitive. As a matter of fact, I would say it's probably a 50-50 fight. If I were to favor anyone in the fight, I probably actually would favor Danny Garcia, given the experience. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you think Conor Benn should fight next? Do you care? I like him. I think he has a lot of potential. I think Mikey would make sense for him in terms of it, because it would be a true step up. Even though, again, like I said, Mikey is coming off of the loss, but Mikey's more of a step up than Chris Algieri was. They were marketing Chris Algieri up to be this, uber accomplished fighter that's, I mean, you would have thought, if you didn't know anything about boxing and you listened to the way they were talking about Chris Algieri, you would have thought that Chris Algieri was a freaking Hall of Famer, for Christ's sakes. I mean, I think they way overhyped that fight, but that's what they got to do for business. That's just how it works. But, yeah, so I think Mikey would probably be the best for Conor Benn in terms of a step up, because it's a softer touch than Danny, but it's not a soft touch either. I mean, it's still a pretty tough fight. But as a boxing fan, I would like to see the Danny Garcia fight. But let me know what you guys think. If you like the content, definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. And until the next one.